day everyone, Brayden here coming to you from the IAAPA 2019 Expo. This is the biggest global attractions convention that is held every year here in Orlando, where all sorts of themed entertainment vendors, people who make roller coasters, people who make snow machines, smoke machines, cotton candy machines, all sorts of stuff come together and actually show off their latest and greatest technology. Of course, we have a lot of fun, carnival sort of stuff. Now actually there's a lot of technology companies even here. There's a ton of VR experiences and all sorts of cool little attractions to check out. So we're gonna check out all that awesome stuff, but first, this being a Disney news channel and all, we're gonna take a look at some of the stuff more pertinent specifically to Disney, because there are vendors here that Disney is currently working with to bring together some of the biggest attractions that we are anticipating, from Rise of the Resistance to Tron. The manufacturer of the Skyliner, Doppelmayr, is even showing off their latest and greatest gondola, their new gondola technology. We're gonna check that all out right now. I'm getting some Imagination Pavilion vibes here, aren't you? With all the water effects. That is incredible. Speaking of water effects, check this out. Welcome to IAAPA. Oh, that is so cool. Maybe Disney should look into that for the Moana Journey of Water attraction coming to Epcot. That water tech, really cool. We just arrived at the Vekoma booth. And if you don't know who Vekoma is the company that started actually the first attraction they made in Walt Disney World, the first roller coaster they built. They are a roller coaster company. They made Goofy's Barnstormer for Walt Disney World. That's the first Walt Disney World attraction they built, but that was immediately followed by something a little bit more ambitious with Rock and Roller Coaster, which is pretty awesome. And then if you go all the way to modern day, currently they are not only working on the Tron coaster, which they built in Shanghai and are now building in the Magic Kingdom, they're also building the state-of-the-art elusive new Guardians coaster in Epcot, in that giant blue ride building. We don't even know what's going on in the inside. We know there's rotating ride cars, all sorts of new tech, which Vekoma was testing out at their testing facility, and some coaster experts got some photos and video of over time as we've seen them testing this new tech. Now, something that Vekoma is an expert at is going backwards on a coaster, that backwards coaster format, so it probably wouldn't surprise you to know that they were the coaster manufacturer for Expedition Everest in the Animal Kingdom. Look at all these crazy lights with this carnival area over here. Oh my goodness. Now right down the street from Vekoma, here we have B&M, another huge roller coaster manufacturer. In fact, right here, you can see we have this awesome ride vehicle. This looks so good. The thing with B&M that's very interesting is they've actually never made a roller coaster for Walt Disney World or any Disney park that I am aware of, which is pretty odd because they're a huge coaster manufacturer. They made stuff for Universal, like the Incredible Hulk coaster. They're a big coaster manufacturer, and we look at things like Vekoma and these other coaster companies, they've all made stuff for Disney, but oddly, one of the big dogs, B&M, hasn't yet. And I wager a guess the reason is B&M likes to specialize in very extreme coasters that have a lot of action and G-forces to them, whereas Disney's looking for more family-friendly coasters. Speaking of family-friendly coaster design, here we have Mack Rides, which specializes in, I would say, more intermediary coasters in terms of their design and their layouts. They're a little bit more family-friendly, and it should probably be noted Mack Rides machined the ride track for one of the most popular attractions currently in Walt Disney World, the Slinky Dog Dash in Toy Story Land. If you look at the silhouette of the Mack Rides track design that is on their exhibit here, you can see it looks a lot like the track that we have on the Slinky Dog Dash. They're the ones who actually machined the track. And if you're wondering why Imagineering just doesn't do all this themselves, Imagineering, of course, they're doing the designing, the theming, all the creative for these attractions, but the fact of the matter is Imagineering is making all sorts of different attractions, not just coasters. So these companies that specifically specialize in developing machining track and developing coaster technology, they actually help bring these attractions to life. So while Disney is working on, let's say, a dark ride, people like Mack Rides here are developing new ride technology, new ways of doing the ride track to actually give Imagineering the tools to tell even better stories. All that said, me personally, I'm someone who likes to see Disney develop stuff in-house. Under Walt, we had Mapo, which was the arm of Imagineering that created all the animatronics, all the animatronic technology that was all proprietary, and then unfortunately, Disney just sold it to a third-party company, Garner Holt Productions, to let them handle it. And the reason they do this is it's more cost-effective to let another company do all the research and development, do all the technology, all the machining, and then you just pay for the individual individual projects rather than having to continually run a division, and maybe you're only getting a new attraction every couple years, right? So it's not as cost effective. The problem with this method is once you sell all your proprietary technology to another company, they can sell it to your competitors like Universal. And then unfortunately when that happens, all your competitors like Universal have access to all the same technology you do, which probably isn't what you want in this age of Disney and Universal going at each other. Let me know what you guys think. This looks like an arcade, but inside of Tron. Now, one last Disney-related coaster company to mention real quick, this is S&S Worldwide. They're working on this brand new spinning axis roller coaster technology. It looks really cool. Now, S&S Worldwide has never made a coaster for Disney directly, but S&S Worldwide is actually this huge conglomerate that purchased Aerodynamics. And if you don't recognize that name, the roller coaster manufacturer Aerodynamics, they made the first tubular steel coaster ever in the history of the world. And you want to know where that was? It was in Disneyland with the Matterhorn. Holy cow, they're all like crisscrossing each other. Oh my goodness. That looks kind of scary. Now, if you've ever been on this channel before, you may or may not know that we talk a lot about the Disney Skyliner system, which recently opened in Walt Disney World. Now, here we are at the manufacturer for the Skyliner, Doppelmayr. We are here at their booth. You can see here the 8-passenger version of the generation Doppelmayr car Disney is using for the Skyliner. But very interestingly, is Doppelmayr has just unveiled their new generation of the enclosed mass transportation gondola system. And as you can see, it almost looks Epcot-ish. You know what I mean? With the LED lighting on the outside on the bumpers. There's all these LED strip lights on the inside, and you can see there's individual padded seats that you can sit on, which is really cool. And also the seats themselves actually flip up if you need more room on the inside for things like storage or things like accessibility. Now, one of the things with the Disney Skyliner system we've been talking about is, could they ever retrofit it with air conditioning? Could they put air conditioning on the existing system? And the Doppelmayr guys were telling me on an unrelated note, with this new version of the Skyliner vehicle, this new version of the Doppelmayr gondola vehicle, is you can actually modify it quite severely, because the way they've done the design, everything has a purpose where you can actually pop out pieces of the, you know, the ceiling and the beams on the side, where you can actually change the seating, you can change the computers, you can change the lighting systems, gaming, entertainment, all sorts of stuff, just by popping open the roof. Like very, very easily, you can add stuff in there as the technology improves and as the demands of these entertainment companies and tourist destinations change. They can add stuff to the existing system, which is a pretty cool feature. Some really cool gondola tech, and I just want to say shout out to the Doppelmayr guys. Apparently they watched my videos, which is pretty amazing, and they gave me a tour of everything going on here. And it's really cool seeing pieces of the future of not just Disney, but themed entertainment as a whole. Now, judging by the fact that Disney hasn't updated the monorails, the Mark 6 monorails, since 1991, chances are we're not going to be seeing any new versions of the gondolas with the Skyliner anytime soon, but that is the next generation of the Skyliner vehicles that Disney bought, so it's really cool to see. Something very interesting, across from Doppelmayr here, we have ProSlides, and ProSlides is a company that makes all sorts of water park attractions for various themed destinations around the world. And here at the ProSlides exhibit, there is a board that lists off a bunch of their projects that this exhibitor has actually done. And someone much more detail-oriented than I noticed on day one of this expo, that on the project list was Disney with Blizzard Beach. And soon after the internet noticed that, they actually put up a sticker over where it said Blizzard Beach on their board of projects that they've done. And looking at the ProSlides model, you can see still listed as one of their exhibitors is Disney. And what's very curious about this is Blizzard Beach has not gotten a new attraction in a very, very long time. And it also so happens that Blizzard Beach is currently down for a very, very long refurbishment. So if you put all these things together, are we getting a new attraction at Blizzard Beach created by Imagineering and ProSlides? We'll just have to wait and see. Now, it's also quite a coincidence is the fact that there's new aerial photographs where you can see that they are redoing Summit Plummet, the actual slides themselves, putting in new pieces of slide. I think it's the same layout, but we have seen that they're actually replacing it as part of the refurbishment, the slides itself, and that could be what they're manufacturing if it's not a new attraction. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway coming to Hollywood Studios spring 2020. I would say it's actually the thing I'm most excited for, and the rumored manufacturer for the ride vehicles for that attraction is right here with Oceaneering. Now, Oceaneering is a very elusive company because they do not always talk about their products, but if you look at their products that are on display, the dark ride vehicles they make, the trackless ride vehicle technology they have, you can see it as a very similar vibe to what Disney is doing with Rise the Resistance and the Runaway Railway. Now, they might have been behind the Rise of the Resistance vehicles, which you've already seen. They've been at different expos and stuff, like the full-size vehicles that we're going to be actually riding in just a couple weeks here when the attraction opens. But we've also heard rumors of other companies that may have been behind those vehicles, and obviously all these companies have like NDA agreements and stuff, so they never really tell us. We never really know for sure, but we do believe Oceaneering is responsible for the Runaway Railway ride vehicles. TEA, who puts on the IAAPA event every year, you can see global partners. We have the new Walt Disney Imagineering logo. Now, speaking of dark rides at Disney, of course we have companies like Oceaneering that specialize in all this really cool trackless ride tech for, you know, trackless ride vehicles and all that sorts of stuff. But we also have here Intamin, and Intamin makes some incredible ride vehicles for things like, they actually have here a vehicle from Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, which is now open at Universal's Islands of Adventure. They have one of those vehicles here at their display, but they've also done a lot of really cool stuff for Disney. They've not only done Pirates of the Caribbean, ride tech for that, they also did most recently Frozen Ever After, as well as actually previous to that, Maelstrom with ride vehicles you have there. Pretty cool. Here you can see a 6-axis hydraulic simulator in action. You see the 6 hydraulics that give it this range of motion, this platform, and then you can put a ride vehicle or something on it. This is the tech that we see used at a much larger scale with the Atlas simulators for Star Tours and formerly Body Wars in Epcot. This is the type of system it used, as well as some other ride systems more recently, like Flight of Passage, I believe uses like some sort of giant version of this sort of technology where you have an entire tower of guests that are actually moving around on hydraulics that are mounted on the side, mounted horizontally. If you look at some models, there are some companies that have similar systems to the Flight of Passage, that sort of technology. You can see the hydraulic actuators in action on the Hurricane VR attraction here at IAAPA 2019. Check this out, liquid fireworks. Fire going off in the distance, that's not your everyday flamethrower. That is actually a vendor that Disney has used, or well, Rainforest Cafe has used in Disney Springs. In Disney Springs, you know, you have the volcano that at night shoots out tons of fire. It looks really awesome. You can feel it from like way over by the World of Disney. It's so cool. They're the ones who actually made that, and they're here showing off their flamethrower technology. How often do you go to a business convention where they're showing off flamethrower technology? Pretty cool. Look at this animatronic. Holy. There are bowling companies here, there's food vendors here, there's literal countries here. Korea has a pavilion, the UK has a pavilion with a bunch of their companies showing off their latest and greatest tech. There's just all these different industries, all related to themed entertainment, coming together and showing off their newest stuff, which is just such an awesome thing. So we're gonna go around, take a look at some of the fun stuff. There's also an outdoor area, so we're gonna go take a look at that. Check out this inflatable, it is LEDs. Now there's a company here that has officially licensed Disney inflatables, and you can see they have a giant inflatable hyperspace jump Millennium Falcon inflatable. Holy cow. All right, everyone, it looks like we finally made it outside here. Outdoor exhibits. What is going on over here? Holy. Spinning around horizontally and vertically. Dang, they are screaming. This might not come across on video, but the reason this inflatable is outside is because it is huge. The towering palms. This is a giant inflatable. Wow. Now my personal favorite thing outside here in the outdoor exhibits has to be this area where you have zombies on an LED screen that is touch sensitive, where you can actually throw balls at the screen physically and it affects what's happening to the characters on screen, the zombies. Here, check this out. So here we have a ball. Got him. Now, I'm not sure how you implement a technology like that in a really highly themed environment, like in Disney or Universal, but there's something to be said, you know, looking at all the VR stuff inside and how much is virtual, seeing something where you're physically throwing it at the screen or blasting the Nerf at the screen. There's something really cool about that, having that tactile sensation of interacting with a virtual environment in a way like that. Thank you for visiting the outdoor exhibits. Now, the best Christmas tree at IAAPA 2019, there's actually a bunch of them, in my opinion, is this one, because what it has is it has lights going all the way top to bottom that are all mapped in relation to each other. So you can basically put all sorts of patterns and images on the tree itself. And because the garland is like that reflective silver color, it bounces the light off of it, so the entire tree is physically changing colors. I don't know if it comes across on screen, but it looks really cool IRL. Getting some Osborne Lights vibes over here. I have to say, this Christmas tree is pretty cool too. If you look up at the top, you can see the stars kind of have like a motion element to them, emitting outwards. It's a cool effect. Now I'm really getting some Osborne Lights vibes. Holy! Now behind me here we have a Kuka arm that right now is sculpting, I think, Batman, someone like that. Anyways, not only can the Kuka arm build cars, sculpt Batman, it can also move people. And that's how it's actually used in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter for their Forbidden Journey attraction, where the ride car itself is on the Kuka arm and the Kuka arm is on a track. That is one of my personal favorite ride systems of the 2010s or late 2000s, I guess you would say. I think it's such an innovative way to move people, and I think that Kuka has some sort of exclusivity with Universal, unfortunately, but I'd really like to see Disney adopt some sort of robotic arm based attraction in the future, where Disney could virtually pivot you around on a ride car in almost any way and tell stories like they've never been done before. It looks like we have an inflatable Vegas over here.
I'm offering special rates right now on Megabus. Special discounted rates for Mega High Road.
That's so funny. Look, even the USPS has a booth at IAAPA. Everyone's here. Now this looks awesome. Look, from inside it looks like you're actually driving an F1. Over here they have a VR battlefield, and there's a sign that says, as of today, it has now been sold to Andretti. So it looks like some big deals actually go down at this convention. Andretti comes in and buys your entire VR battle arena. That is amazing. Now inside of IAAPA, they have actual attractions, and right now loading up is this little roller coaster where some of the guests are on an actual hamster wheel and spin around during the coaster. Let's see what this looks like. Here it comes. Holy. And the other cars are spinning around just a different axis. It's coming up again. Check this thing out. They're literally going around in a circle. Oh, now they're coming back. That is insane. So everyone, that's gonna do it for me from IAAPA 2019. I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, taking a look at almost literally everything happening on the show floor. This might have looked like a fun video where I ran around and said, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, stuff like that. This video took a lot of planning. I basically spent the entire first day just going around looking through the thousands of exhibitors that are here, seeing what was pertinent to talk about Disney news-wise, what was worth showing off, you know, some of the new tech, and then I actually go and start filming it, and it took 2 days to film this vlog. I'm wearing the same shirt, but I washed it, don't worry about it. But yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to support some endeavors like this in the future, where we go and take a look at some really awesome stuff that is Disney related, but definitely takes a lot of time and effort to put together, make sure to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/MickeyViews. If you'd like to support the show directly, you can get your name in the credits at $15 a month, or if you don't want to give any money, no worries, just watching the videos actually helps. Liking the videos, make sure to subscribe, those notifications on, so you're the first to be notified as soon as new videos go up, covering all the latest Disney news. Thank you so much for watching live from the IAAPA 2019 Expo here at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.